Welcome to another episode of the AI Lab Unfiltered podcast. I am Drew Veach from BizStream. I am joined by Mr. Pete Awkward Terryn from New Wave.
Thank you. Got my name right. Thank you.
It's an inside joke. We just said he just said he felt awkward and his middle name is awkward. So I'm going to make him feel as awkward as I can.
It's working.
We are in the beautiful Studio Jefferson right outside of Grand Rapids, and we are produced by Think Tank Thought Leadership. They are the production company that handles us and our producers. They handle all our social media. They handle all of our publishing. They handle the editing. They handle everything. If you want to build a podcast, think of Think Tank Thought Leadership. That's a lot of thinking.
That's a lot of thinking. Just great people on top of that. We've been recording in this a full year now. And they treat us awesome every time we come in. They tolerate us, take great care of us. Great coffee, great people, great studio, just an awesome environment. We just get to walk in, sit down, have awesome conversations and leave. And then there's things that pop up on YouTube and Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff. So we're very thankful to be working with the team.
And they know Die Hard references.
References. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. And today we're going to talk about Die Hard. No, I'm just we're going to talk about AI in higher ed. And specifically, we're going to talk to a guest of ours that we've been very excited to get on board here, Dr. Christy Hake, Dean of STEM at GRCC. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
We're glad you're here as well. So let's talk about AI, because you and I mean, all of us have talked with you over the years, really, at this point, about AI. You at GRCC, Grand Rapids Community College, you have an AI certification now, which is incredibly, at least new to me, as far as I graduated a while ago.
It's been a minute.
I would have loved to have taken this. Not that I still can't, because I know that's what you're going to say.
You totally can.
Tell me about that program.
Sure. Well, we actually are going to have 2 AI certificates. I'm going to get into the second one in a minute. But 2 years ago, we launched our AI certificate. And you start out with an intro AI class. You'll have classes in machine learning, computer vision, and natural language processing. The coolest part of it, though, is the very end, you do a capstone project. And 70% of our learners are non-traditional adult learners.
Yeah.
And so they would work with their companies, if they can, to do an AI project. And one of those areas that I talked about. Dr. Jonathan Resendez is the director of that program, so he developed it. And if we have students who come in where their companies say, yeah, we're not really comfortable providing you data, that's okay, because we have all kinds of companies that we've partnered with. You guys, of course, are 2 of those companies. And students have that opportunity to do that research and get that certificate. The second certificate, which hasn't even launched yet, is a shorter one. So think like 3 classes. So you have your intro, you pick one of the specialties that I just talked about, and then you do the capstone. And that one is not used for financial aid at all, right? The first one, you can use financial aid, reconnect any of those scholarship programs. But the second one is designed for companies to put employees into the program and say, we want you to learn, right? We want you to learn about AI. We want you to specialize in this area. Go do it. And then we'll work on a project together at the end.
So let me ask this with that, which is awesome. This is an awesome program. When you first mentioned it to me, I was like, this is cool. Mm-hmm. This has got legs to it, where this is going to grow. Clearly, this is going to grow into, at some point, it'll be a major, or it's going to even further. So because AI is so evolving so quickly, it's not like mathematics or calculus or something like that, where it's been around for 50 years, 100 years, thousands of years. How is the curriculum evolving with it as new tools come out, as new processes come out?
Great question. First thing I'm going to do is make sure none of my math faculty hear this podcast. Sorry. So this is where our amazing faculty come in. So I mentioned Jonathan, and we have a couple other folks that we're just bringing on board. And we have a faculty line out right now that we're searching for, that we're hoping to find an AI expert in. But it really comes down to those faculty members really keeping up on what's the latest and greatest. And like you said, it's growing so fast. Yeah. My initial field, I was a neuroscientist, and stuff comes out all the time.
Yeah.
It feels like AI is that, I don't even know, I want to say multiplied many, many times. I'm going to go with that. You did just say something, though. You're like, sometime we'll have a major, but Drew, we just started a major in August.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I haven't had a chance to talk to you about that. So a full associate's degree, and after you do the associate's degree, part of which is the certificate, then we have 2 connections, transfer agreements, one with Ferris State and one with Grand Valley. So you can go, you can awesome. Do the certificate, go to work, you can do the associates, get a bachelor's, whatever you want to do.
That's cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
And the cool thing about AI is, like, you can do the 3-class certificate and that will look so good on your resume. Like, people will hire you just for that.
I was actually going to mention something about that because I love recruiting. I've been a part of recruiting for probably 15 years now. I've interviewed hundreds of people over the years, and I'm looking for AI on resumes. If all things are equal and they have similar backgrounds and similar experience, and then they both interview well, if one of them has AI on their resume and the other one doesn't, that's who's getting the nod. Because it is, I mean, obviously I'm co-hosting an AI podcast, so I'm pretty into it, but that's not why. It is where the future is going. And if you're not tooling yourself for this future that is AI infused into everything that we're doing, you're missing out on opportunities. Not to say you can't get a job. You will. There are still plenty of places out there that will hire you without any kind of AI background. But if you want that edge, that I think AI is the edge to get. And you can go to GRCC and get it. And it's what's cool, and you guys have been such an amazing supporter of Drew and I and our local meetup and the podcast. You've hosted several of our meetups at GRCC and been so accommodating, introduced us to people that have become guests and speakers for us. And I think that GRCC is the place to go because I know how much you guys are into it, how much you're supporting it. I'm not saying other people aren't. I'm just not hearing it from a lot of other places. So I would say go to GRCC to get that for sure.
Thanks for that. And I just want to give a shout out back to you because the support that the 2 of you have provided us. We have, I think it's $7 million now in grants. One specific to AI, the other 2 are specific to emerging technologies and tech, which obviously is AI.
Yeah, cool.
And so support from businesses and saying the things you're saying, Pete, about what you're looking to hire. I mean, that support, those grants don't happen without that support. So those grants are solely designed to get more students into those areas. So thank you both.
So that's a great transition. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about, obviously there's a certification that's out. There's now a major that you can get an associate's degree and then beyond. New things that have come out to match what's out there in the world, that what the workforce needs and what employers are looking for. So where do you see graduates? Where do you see you have to have or you should have this kind of baseline knowledge and beyond, like with this kind of, wow, I'm using a lot of words here. What am I trying to say?
I'm following you.
Well, thank God, because I don't know what I'm saying.
Somebody is.
Where do you see like the baseline of what the students graduating now are going to need in that workforce?
And so we've gone beyond AI now in terms of AI students. We're talking about all students, right?
Yeah.
So the answer is yes, they need it all, but it's kind of hard to get it all. And so one thing we're talking about at GRCC right now, and I say talking about, that implies not action, and that's not what I mean. We have a team of folks who are reevaluating our general education, which if you do an associate's degree, that will be part of it, that's looking at digital literacy. So beyond AI, right, there's just the whole picture of what does that mean, digital literacy, what does that mean? And so part of the general education curriculum will be that. And so one thing we're trying to do, hasn't been done yet, right? But what we're trying to do at GRCC is possibly incorporate that introduction to AI as one of those digital literacy classes, so students have the option to take that. Students have the option to take whatever classes they want to take. Like they can walk in and take intro to AI, and that's all they would ever need to take. That's fine. If I were a student right now, I'd at least seek that out. Actually, that's funny I say that. If I were a student, probably should have told you this, I'm in the AI certificate program. So I am a student.
Are a student.
I am a student, right?
Nice.
And I loved that class. And I still take, and I would recommend anybody, like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you don't come to GRCC, okay, go online, find all those free classes that you can take on prompt engineering, and LinkedIn is such a great resource, right? And if you get that premium subscription, you have all this access, and then you get the little certificate, right?
Yeah.
And so so you can have all that on LinkedIn. Do something, right, as it relates to AI.
And it's more than just, I'm going into computer science, so I should probably learn AI. This touches everything. This touches everyone. I mean, clearly, it's not just a buzzword or a phenomenon. It's part of what it is.
Right.
Does this fall under, and this might be a dumb question, does this fall under STEM now?
It does. So science, technology, engineering, and math, that's the tech part.
I feel like it's all of that.
It is. That's exactly it. And I saw a piece this weekend on CBS Sunday Morning. So yes, I'm an old person. I love CBS Sunday Morning. I love that show.
They have great music. I can hear it in my head. I can hear the intro.
Exactly. They really do. So I was watching a piece that they were talking about businesses laying off people, and they're claiming that it's because of AI. AI is taking all these jobs. So I learned a new phrase this weekend, and that is AI washing.
Yeah.
And so
it's all bullshit. Yeah.
People claiming that AI is taking jobs. And so now it's big controversy. Is AI taking jobs, or is AI replacing parts of jobs? And it really is, in my opinion, AI replacing parts of jobs. And so back to the question, whichever one of you asked that question, yes, get a little bit. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that is a good point, because Amazon and Meta and a bunch of people are, we're laying off 1,000 people because we replaced them all with AI. No, you cut it because of the workforce demands and what your company demands are. You don't need that many employees in general, which sucks, but you overhired before is why.
Right.
And you replaced about 10 of them with AI.
Right.
That's really what it came down to.
And it
shows them as being, look how technology forward we are.
Right. As odd as it sounds, it's a badge of honor to say that you've replaced people with AI. That's what shareholders want to hear, because then they're like, oh, well, then that means that we're going to return more on our investment, because they're not hiring people. They're using AI to do it cheaper. But realistically, they're whitewashing or AI washing. The news to cover other sins that they've committed. So
at some point, we have to get to AI in the environment, I hope.
We certainly can.
Because that's the other side of the conversation.
Yeah.
We don't have to go there now.
While we're still talking about getting students enrolled in GRCC into these programs, we talked about, what are some things that they could be doing to prep themselves. But I also don't want to dissuade anyone who maybe is about to graduate. They haven't done anything with that. Because this would have been me in high school. Drew said he would have loved to have this program.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be cool, but I wasn't doing anything to prep for college when I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I wasn't preparing for anything except for the next party coming up on the weekend or whatever it was. But if I decided, hey, I want to start off and I want to go to GRCC, they have this AI program. I don't want anybody to think, well, I haven't done any of this prep work, so I'm not going to be able to get into this, or I'm not going to know where to start. So if I didn't have any of that background and I started in the program, are you going to teach me from the ground up? Do I have to have that background?
Great question. Absolutely, from the ground up.
Okay.
So I walked in, had zero experience as any kind of computer science, computer information systems person. I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to give this a try. And just fell in love with all of it. It was so great. The classes are online, right? So if you don't like that classroom environment, don't worry about it. The instructors are phenomenal, and I can say that because I have learned from them. And I was scared. I mean, really, you introduced me, and it's Dr. Christy Hake. I was scared to take this class. So, yeah, come on in and take it.
Cool. It's cool that it's online too. Drew, we were talking this morning that have reached now into 25 different countries with the podcast. So there might be students from outside the U.S. would be interested in taking classes at GRCC. How cool would that be?
Like Canada.
That would be awesome. Canada. Yes, Canada.
We're in multiple countries, including Canada.
Oh my goodness.
So wait, I kind of, now you've intrigued me about the AI and the environment. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, first brief story. I was at a STEM recruiting event, and sometimes I'll bring like a little AI experiment, if you will. It's computer visualization. And it's fun. Students, elementary right on up to grandparents come up, and students would come up and participate in it. And some students would walk by and they would just look at me and they would yell at me, AI is killing the environment. And they just keep right on walking.
Oh, wow.
Right. But they're not terribly wrong because of the amount of power, energy that it takes to run these giant servers that are out in the middle of nowhere. Here's 60 minutes. So you know what I do Sunday morning and you know what I do Sunday night now. 60 minutes. And they had a great piece on it, on how much it takes and how much it really is impacting the environment. It's already a problem. It's going to become a bigger problem. So it's something I personally struggle with as well.
I have a counter argument to that.
Tell me.
A couple of things. One, AI is actually being used to help the environment. So we had a guest on here a while back. That was probably 6 months ago.
Yeah.
If you go back to anybody that's looking, just search for space lasers, and you'll find this episode. But was it seagrass?
They measure the seagrass growth and patterns of growth around the world, and countries hire them because seagrass is depleting in some areas. It's a telltale sign of climate change and different pollutions, and so countries will hire this company that he's part of to measure that the seagrass beds, and because it affects the whole ecosystems. I think he was working with Jamaica or the Bahamas or somebody on a recent one, and they have control over a satellite that goes above a couple different satellites. One of them shoots a laser into the water, not like James Bond.
Like a laser.
Yeah, not like James Bond where it's gonna like melt everything, but it's like a photo laser.
Yeah.
And it measures the depth of the water, it measures like the salinity, it can measure the temperature of the water. It does a lot of stuff. And part of that is they measure, is there any obstructions, namely like the seagrass that's in there. And so they're using a ton of AI because all that data they pull. And he's like, it's impossible to go through like by hand. You can have hundreds of people in a room sifting through this, and they still would be only a fraction of what can be done. So to employ AI, they have certain algorithms and certain LLMs that they use, that they have built to then sift through it to give them exactly what they need out of that. And it's a measurement over time as well. So,
and I'll just expand. That's just one example, but
so they're using a ton of energy is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, but what is the carbon footprint, right? After doing that work.
Yeah. And I would say if you look at current state, you're hearing about a lot of data centers being built. There's actually some controversy about they want to put one like within a quarter mile of my house by the Amazon warehouse where I live in Gaines Township. And there are people that are starting to protest because they're worried about the environmental effects of building large data centers. And I totally get that. My take on this is that this is where we will, and this sounds bad, but we will fix this in the future. Like what we're building now is not super efficient. But by using AI to design these data centers and future data centers and servers and chips and memory and all that, it's becoming increasingly more efficient. Yeah. And even the models, the way that they program the models, if you were to measure the cost of a token across these different models, it's hundreds of times more efficient or thousands of times more efficient than it was just a couple of years ago. So we're able to do more with what we have now, and that will continue on to the point where it will be able to keep data centers cool without building these giant cooling towers and using all this water. They'll find ways to, and people that are in STEM are designing these things now, and they'll use AI to help get there faster.
Exactly. I'm going to hold you to that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
It's recorded, so there's no getting out of it now.
Can't edit that out.
At least personally for me, I'm willing to make the investment now for what I believe the future will be, and it will be a future of abundance because of AI. All the research, and you talk about disease and all these things. I mean, you're a neuroscientist.
Yep.
Think about what AI imaging can do, what scans, how much better and more detailed the scans are, and the results that you get from scans by using AI that a human observer just won't pick up on some of these patterns and see some of these anomalies in these scans and things. So we're going to improve health, and we will improve the efficiency of the computing is what people are worried about. And I think that'll just continue to get better over time.
A related program to AI is data science, and you just alluded to it in many, many different examples. We also have a related certificate and degree at GRCC on data science.
Oh, that'd be a perfect two-punch hit right there.
Yeah. That's when I finish the AI one, I'm going to do the data science one. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
But you're right. Like, if you think of all the problems, like the garbage, what is it? The garbage patch in the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, AI's got to be able to figure something out there.
Yeah, the one that's the size of Texas.
That would be the one.
Jeez.
Yep.
Well, yeah. So right now it would be super expensive to take a bunch of people in boats out there and put nets together. But with AI vision and what AI is, how it's being built into robotics, you could send a completely autonomous drone out to this patch and pick this garbage up, or and recycle it. And recycling will improve with AI. We'll find ways to break down different things that were previously hard to recycle, but with the new science that will come with this from leveraging AI, we'll be able to break those things down.
Absolutely. We also have to talk about AI and cognition.
Well, now,
because that's the neuroscientist.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's jump into that.
Okay. So what got me thinking about it is the comment that you just made about brain scans and so forth. I was recently talking to a couple of healthcare professionals, and they were telling me about a study that was done where physicians would use whatever the AI is. I can't tell you even what it is that they were using, but they would use that to determine what they thought was wrong, what AI thought was wrong with the individual. And then the study that was done was the cognition before the physicians used those tools and after. And what they found was that physicians' ability to diagnose those on their own decreased.
Yeah.
And so this is something I personally have been thinking about because I've gotten into using AI in the office. Right. There's the cybersecurity side of things. I work at a huge organization. Like, we have to think about all of that. And everybody should be thinking about all that. Anyway, so what I do is I write my emails. And a lot of times I have very long, intense, can you see me rolling my eyes, emails. And I can hammer those out, pop them into AI with a great prompt that's usually written for the person I know I'm writing them to. And I'm not going to say anything beyond that. And I get this gorgeous email. And now here I am writing out my holiday cards. And I'm realizing, like, wow, this is a lot harder this year to do than it was even 2 years ago. And so what do? I'm a neuroscientist. I go look at the literature, and it's like, oh, yeah, this is a real thing. And so now I start thinking about students, and I start, anyway.
That is one I didn't even think about. I didn't even think about talking about that with you.
Freaks me out.
With your background, especially. Yes, because we talk about it all the time. I swear it comes up every other episode we talk about, and we've had a whole episode too about, is AI making you dumber?
Yeah.
That is the conversation I want to have with you, because I feel the exact same way. And that's why I brought it up. And that's why I wanted to do an episode on that, was because I was doing the same thing. I was writing out emails, no problem. A couple of tweaks here and there, and I'd send it out. AI comes into the picture. Oh, I'll keep writing out my emails, dump them in there, just reword a couple things, send it out. Now, fast forward a year. Now we're into modern times. Now I'm going into AI saying, write this email to this person, include X, Y, and Z, just write the whole email. And I'm putting it in there. Now when I have to manually, you're right. When you manually have to go in and go, I don't have AI now. Can I write this out? How do I frame this? How do I say? And it's like, why is this so hard? Is it friggin' email that I'm trying to send?
So I'm going to encourage you to take a step back on how you're doing your emails, where you would say, write it to so-and-so, frame it,
Yeah.
Write them yourself, and then at least pop them in so they can clean them up and make them more, I'll just say clear. So they have
use it at the second step, not the first one.
Use it as a second step, even using it at the second step. I'm still feeling that way, but yeah, a little better than using it for the whole thing.
For the whole thing,
For the whole thing. Yeah, and I couldn't wait. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm co-chair of our software governance committee at GRCC, and I'm keep pushing our cybersecurity folks. I'm like, just figure that out. Let me know when I have that software that can respond to emails. I don't want it anymore.
Interesting.
Yep.
Now, let me flip the coin and say, then the other side of me says, and we talked about this before too, like who's doing, I don't want to say basic arithmetic, but who's using calculus, algebra, all that when you have a phone that you can just type it in and go, here's my answer.
And that's always
yes, you become
example.
dependent on it, but at the same time, it's so convenient now that it has replaced a lot of that basic knowledge. So are we getting into that? If we fast forward 3 years, 5 years, are we getting to that point where, well, you don't really have to know all this basic stuff because this handles it for you. Let's move on to the higher stuff.
I hope the faculty in the School of STEM are listening. No. People still need to know the basic stuff. And the reason is because if they don't know the basic stuff or even the next level of basic, when they put stuff into any kind of AI, they're not going to know when the bad stuff comes out.
So
you
the
mentioned
foundation.
Hallucinations. You got to know the foundation. Have to. And that's one of the scariest things right now for teaching, it doesn't matter what the level is, because students will pop the question in, copy and paste the answer out, and their teachers know that it's wrong, but they have no clue. And they're not developing those critical thinking skills that I just alluded to with the emails.
Right.
Yeah, it's scary. So one thing that our faculty are doing is they're changing the way that they're grading. There are things you can do to bypass the step that students would use with like the ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever. And so that's part of what they're doing. But yes, I mean, calculators did what they did. That doesn't mean you still don't have to understand the concept of addition and subtraction, just basics. Like, what does that number analysis, number knowledge even mean? They still have to know that.
A real life example of that is our previous guest. You saw Brian Toll from Mutually Human when you came in. He was talking about how they're now reading more code than they are writing. So AI is writing the code, but they're reviewing it to make sure, and they wouldn't be able to do that if they didn't understand the basic principles of what good code looks like. So I think the future role for humans is, and we use the term human in the loop. They're verifying that the output is accurate, and you can't do that if you don't understand it.
Exactly.
And to your earlier point about cognitive decline, so we had an episode on that, and I tried to refute what Drew's point was because he's been hammering on this for a while, and I kind of poo-pooed it until I started to see that there are like actual scientific studies that are coming out that are proving it. So I stand corrected. You were right.
Ooh.
MIT had that study. That's what tripped it for me going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is this because that's how I've been feeling. And then ironically, when I came up with the idea of that show, of course I put it into ChatGPT and say, hey, is this for real? Or like coming up with the idea is AI making us dumber. I had to ask AI.
Yeah. But so with your background in neuroscience, what I predict will happen is that we will see this and we will develop remedies for it. So I think AI could be a great mental gym for us. So we're still going to have AI do stuff for us. There's no getting around that. But to keep us sharp, why wouldn't I have a mental workout partner, a mental AI workout partner that is quizzing me and making sure that I understand the things that I need to understand? And it's like going to the gym and I'm just kind of strengthening that muscle through and having, like, I just have a daily workout with AI where it's keeping me sharp. Do you think that that's is that anything that's being talked about now or something that you would see to be on the horizon?
Absolutely. I mean, how many apps are out there now that are encouraged for aging people to use to keep you sharp, right? Like you play Sudoku, like, you know, it's yes.
I just saw this might change how we're thinking of this, and you might have seen this. I just saw a news article about a school for younger kids. These are younger kids, like grade school age, young grade school age. The school is 2 hours long of actual like computer heavy thinking time, all run by AI. There's no teachers in there other than AI. AI runs it. I don't know what platform they're using specifically. It's very tailored to educating them, but it adapts to the level of how it has to dispense the knowledge and help learn how it teaches you based on your reactions and your input in there. So if I'm a little slower, I'm not grasping this concept, it'll slow it down, kind of dumb it down and build it back up versus the kid next to you who might get that one and have a harder time in different areas. But it's 2 hours long of school. And then the other like 3 hours of school, they actually teach like swimming, how to do like hands-on, more motor skill type stuff at that age. And it was interesting because they're now starting to test this. They've been doing it for a couple semesters or a year or something like that. And they're starting to test these kids and they're falling into the top 1% with their knowledge. So they're doing it in a specific way to where it helps teach them, but it's not replacing that foundational knowledge. It is teaching them how to use foundational knowledge. Now, this is young kids. It's not high school kids or anything like that, but it's just and they're balancing it with now motor skills and, okay, we're going to teach you how to, ride a bike or swim or do like the hands-on type gym class, that type of thing. Yeah. So they're not getting rid of the physical part of it to keep your blood flowing. But
so that 2 hours is a kind of a form of just-in-time teaching where it's what you said, right? It's let's do an analysis of where they're at, and then let's figure out what they need to learn. There is a math program. It's called Alex, and we use it at GRCC, where students take we wouldn't even call it a test. We call it an assessment. They take the assessment, and then the computer says, okay, based on how you performed, here's what we need to start teaching you. So stuff like that is not new. We just have technology to implement it a little bit better.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I love that. Because that's what it should be. Like in my mind, that's what education should be.
Tailored education to where it meets you where you're at. And it's so hard for a teacher in a classroom of 20, 30 kids to try to meet everybody where they're at, where AI, it really excels at that.
Yeah.
They can't. The teacher can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
It's really good thinking now on different stuff.
So where do you see this progressing at GRCC? Do you see a continued expansion of these programs? Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, what's in the near future here?
This is why I love higher education, right? Because we have this open discourse, and I have some people who are vehemently against using AI in any form in the work that they do, and I respect everybody who wants to take on whatever it is they're taking on in the goal of teaching our students. And then we have some people, right, who are like, how can I use AI to the utmost? And so I hope we continue the conversations we've had. We have a fantastic group of faculty members who participated in a National Institute for Curriculum and Pedagogy in AI. And it's not just about teaching AI, it's teaching all of the other disciplines and how AI can have that impact. And those folks are doing a lot of work on that, and they're going to be working with faculty outside of that small group to help them take the next steps if they want to towards AI. So I think that's the big thing right now. On the operations side, I mentioned our software governance committee, which has been so interesting in learning about all of the different components that software companies put into everything from the AI to the contract, right? Mm-hmm. Because we're looking at all of it. And then, of course, cybersecurity in the middle of all that. And so that has been I don't want to say it has slowed us down, because slow implies it's bad. Here we go. That has made us more cognizant of potential pitfalls. And if I can leave people with one thing, it's please, 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 before you go doing anything at work, talk to your cybersecurity folks.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, because it's scary, scary stuff when it goes wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Shadow AI is a real thing. I know someone that works for a large multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporation, and they have a no AI policy. But they said that everybody has it on their phone, and they're bringing it in,
and everybody's still using it.
They're using it at work, and without those guardrails and those expectations, you have nothing to hold people to. So even if you catch them doing it, if you don't have any policies there and you haven't set that, it can get away from you quick. Yep. So you really have to get your arms around it.
Yep, absolutely.
I want to go back to something you said earlier about assessing students.
Oh, yeah.
Something I thought about too, because, anybody in any kind of classroom setting, and it includes work too, you can just use AI to do the work for you, and you could not have any real understanding of the topic or anything like that. In a school setting, though, part of it is assessing, did you comprehend, what we've been trying to teach you? And I don't know how much you can share with it how you're doing this, but what is that future approach in an AI world where you're pretty certain kids are submitting AI created work? What does that assessment look like in the future?
A lot of it will be based on the student's personal experiences, because AI can't generate thoughts on something you did yesterday with your brother, right? Just coming off the top of my head.
Yep.
That's probably the easiest answer. And you can use that for, say, a geology class where you go out and you do some kind of field trip. Same thing. Like, what did you get out of this field trip? And it's much more personalized.
Do you think that becomes more of like a conversation? So let's say you're leading the class, I'm the student, we just covered some subject matter. Instead of me, filling out something with AI and emailing it to you or taking a test online, are we going to sit down and have a conversation? And so you can just ask me and I speak to you and tell you what I've learned, because there's no AI there.
Right. That's hard. The answer is yes, that would be great. But to operationalize that, if you have 30 or 100, we don't have classes of 100
scale it,
at GRCC. Thank you. You can't scale it.
What if to Drew's point, the AI is conducting the session of doing the presenting the information, right? But the human is gathering the information in a more personal way. So I've freed up. I'm not in front of the classroom on a whiteboard like drawing things out. AI is doing that. And that can be done outside the classroom. So when we come into the classroom, it's all it is this. Maybe we just have a 10-minute appointment and just stack those. And that's what classroom time is that human-to-human assessment. And the AI learning is happening anytime, anywhere that they want to, because it's all computer-based and cloud-based.
And now you're calling into question what teaching is, because what you just described is assessment, which is part of teaching. But now, is the faculty member actually teaching and sharing their personal experiences and all of the research that they've done? And so I don't have an answer for you. I'm just giving you other questions.
No, I think it's just an open conversation.
It is, right?
Yeah, because somebody has to figure this out, because at a certain point, left unchecked, in their current state, students can submit AI submitted work. They can graduate from high school and not know shit.
Right.
And who's checking that? Right. You can grade the paper. Well, they scored everything right. Another 100%, Tommy. Good work. That's your 100% paper you've submitted this semester. But at some point, we're going to have to figure out how to really gauge understanding in a non-AI way.
And that's one of the reasons why there are some faculty, and not just at GRCC, across everywhere, who are vehemently against AI.
Yeah.
It's interesting. One of my classes, so my intro to AI class, I had to learn, no, it wasn't. I'm sorry. It was a programming class. Obviously have to learn programming. I was doing Python, and I just was really struggling. I just didn't understand. I mean, I get the logic. I didn't understand like why I would write whatever it was I was writing. And my instructor came back and said to me, well, have you put it into ChatGPT or Claude or whatever? And I'm like, well, yeah. And it gives me the right answer. And when I take it and put it into the test, I've done it correctly, but I have no idea why I'm doing it correctly.
Yeah.
So there's that desire that students have to have. Some of them have it naturally.
Yep.
Others just want an A.
Yep.
So how do you also foster that desire in all students to actually want to know why?
And going back to how you said
question.
Some of the staff wants to use it, some of the staff is vehemently against it.
Yeah.
And being in your shoes, being a dean, you got to be pulling your hair out going, they both have valid points. There's no right or wrong. It's trying to figure out how to not just make it all work, but what is the course of action we're going to do. And it's got to be flexible because it's got to change next semester as well as the technology changes.
Yeah,
so
no pulling my hair out. This is the beauty of higher education. And this is why it's nice to have been a faculty member and now be a dean, because I've been on both sides of it. So we have a policy, and I was part of the team that developed the policy. The bottom line is this at GRCC. The faculty member determines how AI will be used in their class. They put a paragraph into their syllabus, and that's it. So it accounts for everything you just asked for.
So that's a great reason and supporting reason of why you should have a policy, is because there it is in black and white. And the way, that way that's handled, well, now it's down to the professor themselves of how they want to use it. That's a great way to frame it.
Now, the downside is there's no way to really test if something has been AI generated. Right. There are AI, I don't even know what they're called right now.
They try to.
Yeah. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Somebody made a comment about they put the Bible into the tester and it came back 100% plagiarized.
Yeah.
And I've heard other examples like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so you said earlier that you write emails that are tailored to the recipient.
Yep.
And then just recently we were trying to figure out how do you get the kids that just want an A to buy into actually learning the subject. So here's my thought on that. So if I have an AI that starts with me in kindergarten or pre-K or whatever it is, and it's my constant companion through all of my learning, it's going to know me. It's going to know that I love basketball and music and all these things. If it can take these topics and make them relatable to the things that I'm into, that could be that thing that gets that buy-in. And that's also very hard for a teacher to do. How do you get to know all these kids so intimately that you know all their triggers and the things that they love and the things that get the neurons firing? AI, if it stays with you and learns with you, it could do that, and it could relate all these things and make them so that you are interested in it because it's something that you're already in love with.
That's a great point. And show you different things related to that to say, hey, did you know these other things are out there?
Yeah.
Right.
Check them out.
Yeah. Because we're not all into the same things, and that's why we pay attention in certain classes and we don't in others. But if you can make it relatable, then my thought is you can be engaged in everything if you make it so it's interesting to you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
what you were saying about my email. So this is what I do with my email. I hammer out an email, and it could be just all over the place, but it's got the points I want to make and all that. Then I write a prompt that's aimed at the person. And then I copy and paste the email in. So the email is not written for anybody. It is like me, fast paced, just get it. I got to get this done, right? There's so much to do. So that's how I do it.
I'll have to pay attention when I'm reading your emails from now on.
Okay, but then, right for Pete. But then what I do is I reread to make sure that there are no inaccuracies and
But even then, so now imagine, this kind of goes back to the tailored learning thing. Imagine that for everybody in the faculty, everybody took Myers-Briggs or Strengths Finder or whatever it is, and the AI knew that about all the faculty. Mm-hmm. So when you went to write that email, it said, well, I would write it this way because that's what's going to mean the most to Tim or Susie or whatever. And now you have more impactful emails that will actually be read and understood and you get better responses because it's tailored to them.
Right. So I was just reading this morning about the types of jobs that AI will not replace. And they are, one of the categories is jobs that have empathy. Because that's what you're talking about, really, right? And so I know the people that I work with. I know every single faculty member. I have some sense of who they are, right?
Yep.
And so my prompt, if I have one of these really long emails, I don't do it for every email. The prompt will be written taking into account what I know about that individual.
And I think it should. That's the personalization part of it.
Exactly.
Which you would do when you normally write it out on paper or whatever.
I mean, I seriously use it as a time saver.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we got to wrap this up.
Oh my gosh. This is so super fun. I know I was like, I don't want to do it.
It goes quick, though.
So fun.
Yeah. Oh, you did great. This is fun.
This was a blast. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys for asking.
Yes. Thank you for being on here. Tell our viewers where they can find you.
Where they can find me. Grand Rapids Community College, School of STEM. I don't know. Where could they find me?
Are you on LinkedIn?
You're on LinkedIn.
Oh, I'm on LinkedIn. Yeah, I have very little social media. That is where I'm at. That's it, is on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Not going to find me anywhere else.
Awesome.
Look up Dean Dr. Aunt Christy Hake on LinkedIn.
Your results may vary.
That's great. Thanks a lot for that.
Well, thank you for coming on. We enjoyed having you on. So
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
If you like today's episode, hit the like and subscribe and leave us a comment if you are looking for an AI certification or further knowledge into AI. Thanks, everybody.